Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Astartes Anonymous podcast, where in honor of Space Marine 2 being released, we are going to rank some of the greatest jerks and asshats in all of 40K. So, sit back, as I am once again joined by a man who somehow continues to avoid the authorities, one of the most lovable people I know, and supposedly Aaron was supposed to be here, but he didn't. He died on his way here, so unfortunate. We'll miss him.
Unfortunate bomb-related car accident, which I had nothing to do with.
I don't believe that, but okay.
Neither did the authorities, but hey.
I am your host, Lucas, or better known as Moots, and these are my co-hosts.
Hello.
That's it. Alright, hi. I'm Alex, also known as Dutch, also known as the Gaming Storyteller, and I'm excited to be here. And yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that about Aaron, I guess.
Yeah, it's very tragic.
He will be greatly missed. Yeah, he'll be greatly missed.
But thankfully, we're currently hiring for someone to take his place.
If I take that, can I come out of the milk room?
No.
Oh.
That's where you belong.
Oh.
Unfortunately, there's no guarantee that you won't also blow up in strange correlated
Accident
bomb activities.
Yeah. Great.
It's kind of like, the danger of the game. You flip a coin every day.
It's a natural progression of being a YouTuber. Getting hit with a car bomb.
Especially a Warhammer YouTuber. It's insane how many Warhammer YouTubers get bombs sent to them. Not that I know. I hear the statistics high.
Are you helping, push those numbers up, or...
No, I'm just a simple bystander. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Right, of course, yes. Of course, that makes sense.
It's me, Red, the most innocent man.
The most innocent man. You keep avoiding the authorities, as we already mentioned, so...
I don't need to avoid the authorities. I'm innocent.
I did nothing wrong.
Right, so... Before moving on to the topic for today, how about we start going through the models of the week?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Of course. Red, do you want to begin?
The first addition we have to the Geltverse is this Gravis Captain Ravengard. It is brought to us by none other than one of our patrons, actually, Mr. Malak.
Woo!
Who, upon listening to the last podcast with Pancreas No Work, or Karl, decided to paint his Ravengard captain as Balthazar Gelt. He is supreme.
I love him. He is supreme.
He is supreme. Hashtag Gelt maxing.
I cast lead.
You know what? At this rate, if people want to submit more and more Gelt-related models, we will just make the designated Gelt corner for all your Gelt models.
Gelt maxing.
Look, if you post a model to be smelted,
Smelted? Please don't melt your Gelt models.
You melt your Gelt models. If you post a Gelt model, please preference it with fucking Gelt maxing somewhere so I can search it up easily every week. And I guarantee you will be featured on the podcast.
It's a free pass.
God damn.
Ugh.
Holy shit, that's a fucking helicopter just passed by real damn low. Holy shit. Anyways.
They're searching for you, Moots.
No!
They know about the car bombs.
It's not me, it's Red, I swear.
How dare you? I have been no business related to car bombs.
Mm-hmm. Right, yes, you do pipe bombs, of course.
But anyway, yeah, I like Gravis Captain. Dual-wielding Gravis Captains. That's also a fucking cool concept.
It is super cool, yeah. I'm actually a huge fan of the metallic painting here. It's super nice.
Yeah,
looks really sweet.
I'm a really big fan of the texture on the blades. The blades themselves have a really cool, almost semi-rustic style to them. They look really cool. Really cool model. I just like its overall color scheme. And of course, Gelt maxing, so big W in my book.
Yeah, Mr. Malak gets to be notarized as the first of the Gelt maxing submissions. He is honored for his bravery. You all more must follow suit like him.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moloch. Moving on to the next one. This one was chosen by Alex.
Yeah. So these are some... I don't know their name, because I have these models. I don't know what they're called.
They're aggressors.
Okay, sweet. So, Triangular Box made some amazing Blood Ravens aggressors, because, fun fact, I have these models as well, in the same color scheme, with the same green details, and I'm looking at the highlights in the main paint job, and I recognize the painting scheme. I have a feeling we had the exact same approach to trying to recreate the Dawn of War paint scheme. So, a really good paint job. These are very well painted, and I just think the models look awesome. I love how many cannons are on them, and just missile launchers and extra little details. And the black feathering on the chest pieces is absolutely amazing. Really cool models.
It's super solid paint job. Yeah, I believe we've featured Triangular Box before for also his other Blood Ravens, now that I think about it, but
oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, these are spectacularly well painted, honestly.
fucking high points for having someone who's won multiple gold demons say it's a good paint scheme.
Yeah,
I'm a really big fan of them, and I think the bases as well, with like the purple and the green in there, which is some of my favorite stuff to do in paint jobs. I love seeing this. This is exactly how I would paint them myself, and I think you did a spectacular job on them.
Turns out he just broke into your house and stole them.
I mean, but I didn't give them those kind of cool bases, so good for him, honestly.
yeah, I really like the subtlety of the purple, and the gray base is just enough that it's like it just doesn't stick out too much, and it doesn't take away from the model, and it just adds to the rest of it. It's really, really solid paint job.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
And more gravis.
Yes.
And more gravis. Hell yeah.
More gravis. Hell yeah. So thank you very much, Triangular Box. Now to the one I chose, which is by another regular here, which is Wolfram the Regulator, who has made a really cool, what's it called? Is the execution? No, but he made them for his kill team, I believe.
So this is going to be the butcher for the kill team. You know, the guy that has the axe.
Oh,
it's called the Butcher. All right, I thought about was his nickname, but yeah, that one's really cool. Again, he's just Wolf just showing off his amazing skills in painting with the super sweet lighting effect. Because I mean,
Wolf is like probably one of the best painters we have in the server. We've known him for a long time, and he's one of the admins. So, and everything he does is fucking phenomenal. He's actually someone I constantly go to. I send him models all the time that I want painted up in a very high quality standard.
I have to say, the object source lighting in itself, the reflection on the legs, the weakening towards the backsides, the usage of shadows around it, so to show that he is using this thing in the middle of the night and there's a lamp on the left of him, it is such a beautiful reflection point. And like, especially,
well, it's not just like using them in like he thinks about it in a very specific environment. And when he paints the regulators, this is part of that's the war band this guy's part of, they're always fighting in space hulks, so it's kind of like a dingy metallic environment.
That is beautiful. That reflects really well in his paint job. And I have to say, like, especially like towards the knee pads and the legs, especially, like, that's where the lightning really comes into play the most. And I love the lava effect the blade itself has. It has a really cool texture to it.
Yeah. His way of using, like, because he uses airbrush, but then, like, just builds off of that is really sweet.
He actually only uses airbrush when he wants to get something done quickly. For the most of the models I send him, he does it all by hand.
Yeah, this looks very hand-blended to me, like a lot of it. I can see that he's done some pre-spraying to like prepare the areas, but then after that, like the blending and the highlighting and the choice of layering the colors is really good.
Yeah.
Amazing model.
100%.
Wolf is the guy I go to when I need to learn more about painting, and he's taught me a lot. So if you're in the server and he's criticizing you, just fucking follow them. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not you're his standard, but I've learned enough to be a decent painter from him in a very short time.
Yeah.
He is very talented. He knows what he's talking about. But yes, thank you all. Wolfram, thank you all very much for the wonderful minis, guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, so how about we move on to the main subject of this episode, which will be about the assholes, the greatest assholes, the biggest jerks of the setting, or some of them at least.
Just not villains, by the way. These aren't bad guys. They're just fucking just dicks. Honestly, just people you don't want to talk to.
A lot of them are, like, I mean, in the context of 40K, obviously, it's difficult to define what a villain is. But most of them, obviously, you'll see are, at least when you look at them just like this, are mostly Chaos Space Marines. But they haven't been chosen for their prowess in being evil. They have been chosen for their ability to be just assholes.
Just to ruin everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And
they just want to see the world burn, nothing else.
Like, okay, so preference it. A villain is someone who goes through great morally dubious means to achieve their specific goal. To be an asshole, you just have to inconvenience people for no fucking reason, honestly.
Just cause them a minor or major inconvenience, or cause a car bomb. You know, that also does the job.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny how we keep changing the subject to car bombs.
It's crazy. How does this keep happening? So yes. So for this tier, we have a couple of tiers. We have, so starting from the bottom to the top, we have dishonor to the craft, which is people who just, like, I mean, yes, they're assholes, but you know, their soul really isn't in it. They've just done something a long time ago, or you know, they're just pretty bad at what they're doing in the context of being assholes. Then we have has nothing better to do. It's just these guys have done they've done notable stuff, but it's more like hey, I just happened to pass by and I'm gonna be an inconvenience to you.
Yeah, these are more the ones that they kind of try, but not hard. But you know, it's when it is usable for them, they'll do it. They'll be a dick to you.
Then there's the hobby hater. These are the guys who they do it for fun. From time to time, they'll.
I feel like a majority of the people on this list do it for fun.
But you know, then we have the professional asshats. You know, these guys are like they're good at what they do. Obviously, a hobby hater isn't bad at what they're doing either. They're just middle of the road haters. Professional asshat, you're getting in on the territory of these guys have been doing it for a long time and they're getting real good at it. But above that, we have the irredeemable assholes. These are the absolute trash talking, mustache twirling,
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say people who being an asshole so intrinsically linked to their character.
Yeah, exactly.
That it is completely undefinable by any other statistic.
That's a good way of saying it.
I have a feeling we all know who's going up there.
It's Alex!
What? What did I do?
I introduced him as the most lovable person I know, alright? He's a good boy.
I thought that was me.
What's that?
I thought that was supposed to be me. I will not forget this betrayal.
Fuck!
I can't believe you've done this.
I had to come up with something for the intro, alright? It was difficult.
Yeah, he was evading the authorities.
Oh, okay.
I don't evade the authorities, I'm innocent.
Starting off with a very classic staple of the setting. We have Abaddon the Despoiler, Failbadon the Harmless, Abaddon the Armless, even. The War Master himself.
Diet Horus. Daddy's special little girl.
Wine brewer, Daggeratory.
Wine brewer. So to start off, I would have preference saying that Abaddon fucking sucks. Not as a 40K character, but he sucks because of his story from 30K, where he was such a sniveling little bitch for a majority of the fucking heresy.
What do you mean? He was just super loyal, all right? He just saw Daddy Horus said, "Shoot your buddies," and little Abaddon said, "Hell yeah, I'll shoot my buddies in the back."
Yeah, but Abaddon lost his temper because a news reporter said mean things about him. he's a transhuman giant, even for an Astartes, and he fucking like, you can't say that we're bad. You suck. And he fucking loses his temper, and then Loken tries to stop him. Then Abaddon, who's in the Mournival with Loken, is just like, "No, you're fucking lame. I'm gonna go tell Horus. I'm gonna tell Dad." Every chance he gets, he goes to Horus. By the way, every fucking single chance,
of course,
without fucking like with pure impunity.
He's like one of the very few characters in all of the Horus Heresy and even Great Crusade who was just an asshole through and through from the moment he was indoctrinated and put into the Legion. Like from the very first moment we meet him, he is so up his own ass about everything and he always thinks he's right. And somehow he has kept that for over 10,000 years.
and it's weird because, like, I mean, in the first book you meet him, he's kind of like a big brother type S character to the Mournival, and is like just being the big brother to the other three. And then in literally the second book, he turns into like the biggest little girl in the entire fucking universe. Because they have to make him evil and make him Abaddon. They can't just do a slow corruption story for him. No, he just immediately turns into like a whiny bitch.
Well, I feel like that's you can. I see your point. I think you can just make that point for like all characters, especially Horus. I don't think they expected the Horus Heresy books to do as well as they did. So, or well, we know that was the case. So a lot of initial things were rushed, unfortunately, but he has a...
You're right, you can't rush a series that has about over 80 books.
True.
Exactly. No, so I see what you mean, but he's always been sort of like this just really bitchy kind of... Not, or bitchy is the wrong word. He complains a lot. He'll go tell Dad. He will always make a point of being above you, right? He's
yeah, but that's only because he has the good fortune of basically being the rich white kid version of an Astartes.
True.
He grew up in the suburbs. His dad had a Mercedes-Benz. His mom was a very loving woman, and he hated everyone for it. So, and the thing is even in the 41st millennium, 10,000 years later, besides of course being the War Master and Bitch Supreme, he is also... He goes out of his way to ruin other warbands to get their marines.
Yeah.
Like in Karn the Red Path, we see the Abaddon's hounds, which are the hounds of Abaddon. They come down to Karn and they're like, "Join us." And he's like, "No." And they're like, "Join us, please. The War Master needs you." And he goes, "No." And they end up having this massive brawl and fight, which ends up with the Khorne Berserkers from the Hounds of Abaddon joining Karn because he was nicer to them than Abaddon. I'm like, he is such an unnecessary asshole. But the issue is, at the same time, when he can use you for something, he'll be super nice and like caring for you by giving you his homebrew wine. But that's just to play you. That's just to make sure that you're going to be on his side and he has control over you. So he's such a dick. He's such an ass.
I would think he's a dishonor to the craft because he doesn't even try sometimes. It's just because he's throwing a tantrum, he becomes an asshole. Like when he almost lost the Battle of Cadia and he just threw a Blackstone Fortress into the planet. Because this Blackstone Fortress is one of the rarest, most ancient things in the universe, and he destroys it because he almost lost one planet.
You know what?
I mean, keep in mind, it was Cadia, and it was like the bottleneck of the fucking warp, but still.
Yeah.
But even
one planet. He had to fucking sacrifice a Blackstone Fortress to win one battle, where he almost lost.
Yeah, no, I feel like that... I don't really see him... I can sort of see him being has nothing better to do, because, he starts crusades, and then when that crusade is done, he just, sits on his thumb and rolls his thumbs for the next 10,000 years or so. So it's like, for me, he's like either a low has nothing better to do or a high dishonor to the craft.
Low has no high dishonor to the craft, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll agree with a high dishonor to the craft, because the thing is he's not always an asshole.
That's true. Well, we'll put him at high dishonor to the craft then, for the moment. Excellent. We have our first this great start, strong start from the War Master himself, right at the bottom. Excellent. Yes. And then we have this guy, Emish I. He is a wonderful fella. I don't know if you guys know about him.
Unfortunately, I am unfamiliar.
He is a Emperor's Children who... So you know it's gonna be great there already.
Oh, is this the guy with the twins?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
This is the twins guy. So this guy, he has his tongue stapled to his breastplate, which means he can't speak. Which means he needs translators. So he has 2 twins that he has cut off the arms of. So specifically so that they can't embrace each other. And he has blinded one and deafened the other, I believe, so that they can't communicate with each other. And he has painstakingly taught one of the twins to interpret his grunts and sounds from his tongue just being stapled to his armor. And in the fucking last moment of his life, whilst he's being sucked into a sand pit or something by a thousand sun, as the twins finally free from their burden of being attached to this guy, finally embrace each other, lean into each other. His one goal in mind in that moment is to try and separate them from each other. And he's like, I won't die I don't want to die knowing that these guys were happy for once.
Okay, so he to me sounds like an absolute hobby hater. He just loves to hate. He just loves to hate on good moments.
No, it took time. He's a professional asshat in that.
Honestly true. He's just such a dick.
He's a low professional asshat. This guy is such a fucking bastard. Because while he does not have a large quantity of things he has done, just this one act of fucking with these 2 kids or whatever is just such a fucking terrible thing to do.
It's so terrible for just no reason whatsoever.
He not even trying to save himself. He's just like, fuck these kids.
Yeah, I think I can absolutely go with professional asshat because he's.
I'll follow along with that.
he's become very good at what he does.
Torturing these kids for no reason.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but he was very good at it. It's.
That's so fucked.
It's like that fucking shitty Wolverine line is like, I'm good at what I do. What I do isn't such a nice thing. Cue the scene of him being sucked into a vortex, desperately trying to separate 2 kids he tortured.
Oh my god. That is such professional hater behavior.
What an asshole.
It's not even that he was falling into a war pit. He was just getting what's it called, sinking sound. Is he was just getting
yeah.
And a Thousand Sun did that to him? Did he just... I like to think that they weren't even fighting. The Thousand Sun was just in the same area as him and go, ooh, I do not like that sand pit, and snaps his fingers, and he just starts getting taken.
Curse of the Pharaoh upon you.
Be gone.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident putting him in professional asshat. I feel like that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
There we go. Is he a low, mid, or high professional asset?
I'd say low.
Low, absolutely.
Low. Okay, all right, sure. I'll go with that. Yeah, fuck this guy in particular. Oh yes. So.
Here it comes.
Here comes the next one then, and Red, I think you
and I recognize that face from anywhere.
Yes, this is
this is Grendor Scrivok. And if you've ever heard that name and not read anything about him, you should be able to tell that this guy lives and breathes just being evil for no reason.
Please explain what it is he does. I'm unfamiliar with him.
Grendor Scrivok was one of the captains from the 8th Legion, or the Night Lords, and his reputation is so fucking terrible that even other Night Lords fucking hate him before the heresy.
Oh boy, what the fuck?
Grendor Scrivok was the son of a hive noble, and when he was a child, he would basically be a serial killer hunting lower income family children.
Oh my god.
And then his pop-haps is like, I'm gonna send my son to go be a fucking angel of death. And it turns out Grendor Scrivok was pretty apt to become a fucking Astartes. Or the trials weren't even that hard for the Night Lords to enter to begin with.
Probably not part.
And then he makes it his personal mission to try and take over the Legion.
Oh.
But basically the reason that the Night Lords became infected with murderers and psychopaths after Kurz left is entirely Grendor Scrivok's fault.
Oh, okay.
So the reason the Night Lords are horrible, horrible people, and the reason Nostromo fell back into chaos,
damn,
lowercase c chaos, is because of the Scrivok family.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking like irredeemable asshole right here. This is like, I mean, imagine that
this man knowingly and willingly destroyed his world, his legion, just for the fuck of it. Like, that's just it. Just because he could.
Just to be at the top of the rung. And he becomes a demon prince later, by the way.
Oh, it works out for him too. No.
Yeah, he becomes immortal.
No, it works out for him too. They gave him a dub. No. Okay, he's an irredeemable asshole.
He's like, yeah, I could think he's currently the Painted Count. So he leads like the largest Night Lord warband.
Oh, I hate that it worked out for him. I hate that so much.
Fucking hell. I mean, like, it's funny, like, yeah, I think, I mean, because he's really above professional here, because he started early on as just reverse Batman for no reason.
He was just like, there's no rules for the High Lords, Batman.
He's literally the anti-Sevatar.
Anti-Sevatar.
Like, everything Sevatar is, Scrivok is the exact opposite. Sevatar was raised in the streets of Nostromo. Scrivok was a fucking hive noble kid. They both ran around killing other kids, though.
And that seems to be a pattern with the Legion, but Gendor had something to do with that. So you know what? Irredeemable asshole.
I mean, Sevatar had to go feed his curl friends.
Exactly. Yeah, he was doing it for...
Gendor just did it for the sport.
Actually, I just looked it up here on the wiki. It's actually just hunted for sport. It's such an asshole. What a guy.
And by the way, he's not like super poetic about it. He literally is like has a like evil villain laugh, and he just loves it. There's nothing redeemable about him. He just fucking loves being evil.
Oh, that makes me so. I both love and absolutely hate him. That is, oh god, the duality of this guy.
God.
He's literally the fucking worst.
He's such an asshole, it becomes funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So what do we say? That's irredeemable asshole, right?
He's irredeemable asshole.
Easy. Yeah.
100%.
Right. Yeah, I have no complaints about that. I feel like that's perfectly justified. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that what a guy.
What a fucking guy.
Even among assholes, he is an asshole.
You know for a fact, Abaddon looks at him and is like, oh.
Look, if other Night Lords hate this particular Night Lord guy, chances are that guy is really fucking bad.
Oh, well, it's going to be interesting then, because next up we have someone who I think arguably could potentially maybe rival him in just sheer scope of assholery.
Now I have so here's my thing. I think we should, like, scope shouldn't be taken into account. It should be the personal interest of the deeds that each of these characters have done.
Yeah, whether you want to pull two kids apart having their first happy moments in their entire life, or you are wanting to end the galaxy. And the thing is, it's like just in context of the character. So I'm excited for this one.
Because our next character is none other than the Catan himself, the Deceiver. If one, now in my opinion, if one god was able to put in the concept of being an asshole into reality, it would have been the Deceiver. Because people say Erebus is the reason that 40K exists, but the Deceiver is the reason Warhammer exists.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just this guy is behind so much bullshit as it is today. He really just kickstarted up everything, really. If you want to believe that, unless you want to believe that the old ones are to blame or whatever. But
before we get too into like why he's an asshole, I want to say that despite his deeds, he's only a hobby hater. Because while he chooses to be an asshole, it is just in his nature as a god, basically. Because if you think about it, the Catan are like truly the godly beings because they are the concept that they encompass. And the reason he deceives is because it's just what he is, and he did it so he could eat the soul. So he did it for his own survival to trick this what he believes were a lesser race.
Well,
and at the end of the day, he enjoyed it, and it caused a whole bunch of issues. But it was really just so he could eat.
Well, yeah, I see what you mean there, but like, I think it's safe to say that being a deceiver wasn't necessarily who it was before it got the body and all of that. I think it's most so because of what it did, which was tricking the Necron tier into.
Yeah, the Deceiver is his name that he got from the Necrons because he deceived them. But that's just happens to be in his nature. He's a trickery god. He's a trickster god.
I mean, look at this face. Does this guy look like it's in his nature? I think he's just. I think he came to the conclusion one day that he just wanted to do it. I think.
Well, the thing is about a deceiver, right? Like, everything with deceiving somebody requires a half-truth. He did fulfill the promise of ridding the Necron race of their cancer. He did fulfill half of it, so he did do the good side of it as well. Doesn't take away that he ate all their souls and then feasted up on it for a long time and then used that power to destroy some old ones because it was funny as shit. The thing is, though, is he isn't fully in the wrong because he did also fulfill the good side of the contract in it. He deceived them, but it's a half-truth.
He stayed true to his word. He just didn't tell them that they weren't getting those souls back.
I'll rid your body of cancer, but by killing someone, you also rid them of every disease. So I would agree with Hobby Hater. He's perfectly in the middle because half he was right and fulfilled his promise, and half he lied.
If anything, he's like a fucking genie. He's a fucking djinn.
Yeah.
He's the galactic version of the monkey's paw.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they wished to be healthy, and he gave them healthy bodies with a twist.
I mean, I think that just, for me, puts him up into professional asshat, because this is truly the work of a pro, right? It's...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was the Necrons. Half of the decision was the Necrons. They didn't have to do that.
Well, I mean, he gave them the option, right? He pushed them into it, especially if you want to also believe that the Catan ate the star and like were behind the reason why the Necron tier became the way they were, like cancerous.
Oh, that was just a happy coincidence because they ate stars.
Happy coincidence.
That's just what they did. It just so happens one of the stars they were eating at the time had a bunch of life on it.
Well, unfortunate for you. Nom 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 nom.
But no, I think he's just a hobby hater because he mainly just did it for the Catan Zone survival.
I agree to that.
And he thought it was kind of funny.
Well, I think I'm still gonna put him like low professional asshat, but I think that averages him out to a high hobby hater. So
yeah, I agree to that.
And next up we have someone I think you know a bit about. This is Orokin.
I love Necrons. Necrons, let's go.
Let's go.
And this guy, well known for manipulating time just to make himself look smarter. This guy works
I like him already.
So, Orokin the Diviner, which is our next character. Funny fact, I found out that the little thing he has around his face opens up to take in energy, so he's kind of like a sunflower.
No, really?
Does he just sit there like Wall-E in the movie where he like opens his little sun panels and he just like charges up?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens.
That's beautiful.
Because I was rereading The Infinite Divine, I was just like, wait a second. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my god, he's a flower man.
Flower man. Cute. God. Someone please draw him with just a sunflower around his head. That's adorable.
If only there was an artist that we knew.
Oh, yes. I don't know who you're talking about, honestly.
Photosynthesis.
You're right. All of the art on Stories Anonymous is AI generated.
No!
No!
I take great offense to that. Ooh. Damn.
Good.
Damn.
Honestly good.
No.
Anyway, Orokin the Diviner is the chronomancer of all chronomancers. And funny enough, when the Deceiver offered the metal bodies, Orokin was just like, nah, man, that's dumb. It just feels off. We're definitely going to get fucked over if you take that deal. And they took the deal anyway. And then they threw Orokin inside the furnace.
They threw him in? He didn't even have a choice.
No, they dragged him in. They're like, you're going to go become immortal, Orokin. If you like it or not, come here.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
No, I don't want to be robots. No.
And then Orokin spends the next fucking 60 million years trying to figure out how to become a god. He does actually end up achieving that goal after he eats an Eldari world stone.
What?
A lot of Eldari... Spoilers for End of Infinite Divine.
Oh.
You're never going to read that book anyway.
I was going to listen to it.
So here's my... Oh, damn. Maybe you should have done it sooner.
Fuck.
Skill issue?
I'm about to add you in here on the list, Red. Damn.
I am there. There I am, Grendor Scribach.
Okay, alright. So he eats a bunch of Eldar stuff and he achieves godhood? How the fuck? What does he do with that?
He kicks the shit out of the Deceiver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see, that's professional asshat behavior right there, because you would go so far for one goal in mind, which is to beat the shit out of the fucker who turned you into an immortal robot.
So he didn't go out looking for that fight. It was kind of like a last-ditch effort to not die because the Deceiver was going to kill him in Trazen because it was the fucking Deceiver. It was a god. So he was kind of like fight fire with fire. Anyway, so my issue here is that all Necrons are just kind of petty, honestly. Like none of them really go out of their way to really fuck you over, except a few cases, one we'll get to shortly. But Orokin himself just kind of like plows through shit that's in his way. He doesn't really go out looking to fuck with you.
Right.
Like even the shit with Trazen, he only got into it because him and Trazen were basically fighting over an artifact. And the fallout from their shenanigans caused a bunch of issues for everyone in the galaxy. It wasn't really he wasn't really going out to make your day worse for the sake of making it worse. That's more of Trazen's MO, because Trazen is way pettier than Orokin. Ergo, he shoots him in the chest one time.
He just like blossom.
Well, that's just silly things that immortals do to each other, right? It's
but Orokin does cause the deaths of untold billions. During his time, but like he puts about as much thought into it as you would hosing down an anthill that pops up into your yard.
Yeah, like for him, it just happens. It's nothing he really is trying to achieve. It's not. I think honestly, he sounds like the perfect has nothing better to do.
It honestly is. He has nothing better to do, because even that time manipulating stuff was only him trying to manipulate a trial, so he comes out on top.
Bro became a chronomancer just to make sure he could win his trial. What a fucking lad.
I'm not getting sentenced to jail. I'm gonna time travel and fix this. You're sentenced to death now. Fuck.
Let's go again.
He did it like 8 fucking times, by the way. He reset the universe like fucking. But that's the length of Orokin's power. He brought the universe back like fucking I don't know how many years, like 8 times.
That is so good.
In a row, by the way.
I may be misremembering it, but is it like also at one point a time in the trial where they just go, Orokin, please stop messing with time? It's fucking everything up.
So yeah, after they get a specific one, they later have another trial, and the lady that they brought out said, and we're doing this in this one specific location, so no time bullshit can happen, Orokin. And I love how even if they're onto Orokin being the time wizard that he is, they don't even like prosecute him for that. They're just like, you're right, that's on us for not counteracting that to begin with.
You know what? That's our fault. That's on me, G.
We should have known we were fucking having a time wizard on trial.
Oh
yeah. No, he's just an asshole because he has to be at times, really. It's just more like to get out of my way, I'm trying to do something. That's the only reason he is being a dick. Of course, like he has no issue with destroying entire civilizations in that way, but he will just do what he needs to do. So I think it's like, if he has nothing better to do, he will be a dick, but that's just about it, right? He doesn't go out of his way to waste time.
Oddly enough.
Even though he can change it as he likes. Oddly enough, because he could. Well, maybe he has. We just don't know yet.
It's so.
But yeah, he just has. It's just nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Only because the scale of his actions is what's impressive. But like the intent behind him is basically the same intent you have when you see a fucking roach infestation.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it so hard for me, at least, here to choose, because I think for the most part, I'd put him in has nothing better to do. But he has these moments where he's like, I feel like that's like just professional behavior in a sense. I mean, or you clearly don't put so much time and effort into something if you're not like real sort of into it, right? So,
yeah, but it isn't.
Yeah, but he's more or less into like his own like ability to ascend. He doesn't really give a shit about anything else.
Yeah, it's not like he's trying to screw someone over. He's just like, get out of the way.
Like if his actions inconvenience you, he's just like, oh well, you shouldn't have been there, and continues on with his day.
Skill issue. All right. Well, you guys are voting for has nothing better to do. I think I want to put him in like Yeah, no, I'll put him there. You guys can arrest me. He's nothing better to do. There's no. I kind of want him.
It's kind of more asshole by design than more like asshole by like just convenience than asshole on purpose.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Next up, we have this little fucker right here. I don't know a whole lot about him, but Red, you're the Twice Dead King specialist. This
more necroms. We have Lysicor, the Lord of Deathmarks.
Yes, Lysicor. I only read a little bit about him, and which prompted me to put him on this list as a contestant. He woke up early from his very long nap, and what he decided to do will surprise you. He decided to kill all the fucking higher-ups, all the Necron lords, just to see what would happen. Just because he just assassinated them.
Oh. What the fuck?
Whilst they were sleeping.
That is some professional hater behavior. What the hell?
That's not even the best part. That's not the best part.
What?
He wakes up, he kills all the people, and then the Tomb World's like, I guess you're the pharaoh, you're the overlord now. And then the rest of some of the dynasty started to wake up, found out what Lysicor did. Or Lysankor. I think it's Lysankor. And they're just like, for fuck's sakes, you're not keeping this. He's like, all right, fair enough. We're fucking exiling you to the fucking barrier world. Go fuck yourself. And he's just like, fair enough. And then he stays on this barren world where Ultix eventually rests. And he only knows the Lord of Deathmarks as being this dude that's on the planet that just steals everyone's fucking canoptics.
What?
He's obsessed with stealing canoptics. Like when overlords get sent or lords get sent to this world, they get to keep some of their shit. And whenever some of them have canoptics, he steals them.
What the fuck? He just steals their pet?
Yeah, he just steals their canoptics. Then he like travels out in the universe and steals other Tomb World's canoptics.
What the fuck?
To the point that other dynasties know about Lysankor, and then he steals their fucking canoptics.
What is he?
Does he just collect them?
What does he even do with them? What?
by the way, he uses them in battle.
Okay.
Later in the books, basically Lysankor comes to Ultix's aid, and he fights off the Imperium, and they weren't ready for the fuckload amount of canoptics he had.
What the fuck? This guy is great. He is such a unreasonable piece of shit.
That I still haven't gotten to the best part.
What? There is more?
So Ultix knows that Lysankor is shady as fuck, and Lysankor doesn't even try and deny it. He's just like, hey, Ultix, you know I'm a piece of shit, so hey, we can make this partnership run for as long as you want. But just know, I'm gonna betray you at one point or another.
It's fucking... It just turns to fucking New Yorker.
It's the only appropriate thing I can think for him.
Ultic.
During
I'm walking over here.
more spoilers, by the way. When Ultix starts losing his fucking mind after he becomes the Pharaoh, he has Lysankor be his fucking master of spies.
Mm-hmm.
And Lysankor takes great pleasure in killing nobles that are perceived to be traitors against the crown. He doesn't do anything to try and prove anything other than like, hey, they seemed like they were shady, so I got rid of them. Bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom. They are dead on the ground. I love him. He is great.
Everyone fucking knows he's shady. as fuck, and they keep him around because he's actually fucking useful.
He's too good at his job. They can't get rid of him.
At one point, they were getting fucked up by the Arch Mechanicus that was chasing him, and he calls Ultix saying, "Hey, I got something that might help us, but you can't be mad." And everyone's like, "What do you mean we can't be mad?" He's just like, "Just say you're not going to be mad." And he's like, "Okay, we're not going to be mad." And he summons a Leviathan Canoptic that's the size of a fucking battle barge.
What?
What?
That tears into real space. It looks like a giant fucking centipede, by the way.
What the fuck?
And it starts ripping ships apart because it's an old mining canoptic they used to use. And he's just like, "I stole this from the capital world when we visited." I wasn't gonna tell you I had it, but we kind of need it.
True.
And they're just like, "Well, I mean, he's helping us, so fuck. Might as well not think too much of it." That I still have not gotten to the best part.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
So at the end, near the end of the second book, Ultix finds out he's infected with the flare virus and decides that everything he's been doing has been wrong, and so he goes out to sacrifice himself to save what's left of his people, and he sends them off and he flies to go meet the Imperium head on, and Lysankor is like, "Well, I ain't fucking staying. That's fucking dumb." And so he sends him a message, like a holo message, not a recording, basically. He doesn't message him personally. He's just like, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm leaving, but I'm taking like 80% of your canoptics with me because I was hoping to betray you in a more spectacular fashion, but it seems the time does not allow me to do that. So hopefully you'll appreciate this betrayal. By the way, I stole 2 of your Seraptech heavy constructs."
That is.
and Ultix is just like sitting there rubbing his temples going, "Well, at least he didn't kill me." And Lysankor fucks off, and we don't know where he is. All we know is that he has an army of canoptics.
What the fuck?
And 2 Seraptech heavy constructs, which are Titan-class Necron units.
He's like, "I can't have my own tomb world. I'll make my own tomb world."
I make my own tomb world, blackjack and hookers. With canoptics.
He has a dynasty's worth of canoptics, by the way, at this point.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my god. I mean, this guy just goes straight into professional asset. This is high tier professionalism right here, right?
Yeah. He is a professional jerk, true and true. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
And this guy is just so fucking good at what he does.
I love that he's honest about it.
He lives and breathes fucking just to fucking inconvenience people. Honestly, this is hater goals. This is what I strive to be. To be such a fucking dickhead that everyone knows you're shady as fuck, but you're so fucking useful no one can get rid of you. So it just propagates you to be able to do this shit more and more and more.
You know what? He deserves his own tier. Professional hater right there. He's, I don't know what color is gonna be. There you go. There he is.
He can have his...
What? Why did it do that? Thanks, fucking website. Oh well. There we go. I'm good at what I'm doing, alright? This is a professional podcast right here. Damn.
Absolutely. Oh god, I love him. I think he's one of my favorite Necron characters I've ever heard about so far. I love that so many Necrons just have main character syndrome to the max. And they have the technology and just the fuckery to do it. Oh, that's so good.
God, that's actually amazing.
He's not even like evil about it. He's just a fucking asshole. He's just a dickhead.
Just because he can.
He's the type of friend that you could ask for something and he'd be like, yeah, I'd totally help you out. But you don't know if he'd actually come and help you or just make the situation worse. But at this point, you're out of options and you're just like, fuck, can't get any worse anyway, so...
He's the kind of friend that will say, like, yeah, I'll come help you assemble that closet. And then he tells you, yeah, call off the other guys. No need for that, we'll do it together. And then 2 minutes before he's supposed to arrive, he just goes, oh yeah, I forgot, I ain't coming today. And then you called off the other people and you're left with nothing. But then he's so good at it, the next time he does help you, he's done in like 10 minutes, you're like, damn, this guy is great.
Actually fucking fantastic.
Oh, I love him. He's great.
I love this guy. I'm sorry, I can't look at this damn ugly ass color.
Literally the fucking worst, but also somehow the best.
Damn. Oh, it's still the same color. Never mind. I tried.
It is what it is.
I'm sorry.
Whatever, it's like Sankor. It's whatever.
It's whatever.
It's just for him.
It's just for him. Oh, yes. And then next up, we have... I don't know how we're ever gonna top this guy, right? But we have the God Emperor of Mankind, the Master of Humanity. Also, well known... terrible dad. He had 20 sons. He couldn't raise any one of them right.
Terrible dad. He's just a terrible person.
Honestly, yeah.
He's like a horrible fascist dictator.
That's honestly, yeah.
This guy is such a jerk. They wrote 80 books to explain how much of an ass he was. Yeah, like it's like he's such an asshole. That's how much detail
how he got crippled.
They needed 80 books to explain how badly he kept fucking up and how little he actually fucking cared.
You know what? I would really like it if one of the traitor war bands or whatever just realized, no, the Emperor's kind of a fucking huge bane upon humanity. We need to fucking get rid of him. And so they joined Horus and they're just like, fuck all this demonic shit. Let's just hope the Emperor dies in the process. And at the final battle, they're just like, is he dead? He's just like, he's on life support. And they're just like, fuck! God damn it! Everything! We tried everything! We sent a demon to his house! It's that one neighbor in the fucking, like, imagine that you live in the neighborhood and there's like the head of the HOA is in there and you're just like, we have to get rid of him, and you try everything to the point where you're summoning literal demons and it still doesn't kill him. You're just like, god damn it, how is this guy alive?
How does he keep getting away with it? Oh, I mean, like, everything that the Emperor does, like, he's had more than 30,000 years to plan out and execute his plan. And he still just fails so colossally because he every person he ever meets just goes, yeah, I don't want to work with this guy.
Oh, here's a preference of how much of a fucking terrible person he is. There were peaceful planets during the heresy that were just like, no, we don't want to join. We just kind of like to maintain self-sufficiency and not have to pay taxes. And you're just like, okay, send the Night Lords.
I mean, like, not even just the Night Lords. Fucking the Blood Angels, Sanguinius is also equally like part of that problem as well. I mean, I think you could say like all Primarchs even, and like that's the sort of conditioning that this guy.
And you know what? Which Primarch didn't actually had like the lowest kill rate of all the Primarchs, and was actually like really wanted to fucking help people instead of like subjugating them.
Could it be?
It was Lorgar. It was Lorgar. He was actually a really nice guy.
He was actually just a really nice guy. He wanted to talk shit out, and guess what that led to? Fucking Monarchia. So yeah,
which was considered like the crown jewel of most worlds.
Yep.
But because they had a fucking chapel, it burned.
Like, it's so...
Great job, Biggie! Great job, Biggie!
Great fucking job. And, like, he got fucking Mr. Blueberry Man to do it. And then afterwards, Gilliman was like, man, that was really dumb, guys. Why did we do that? We should repay for that. We're gonna rebuild Monarchia. This city, this place is gonna be Monarchia too, alright? It's gonna...
Or like how... Nikea started out democratically with voting, then Magnus was winning, and then the Emperor decided, you know what, democracy is nothing for me. No, we're banning psychers. He's just like, you know what, maybe democracy isn't that good after all. No, we're banning psychers no matter what.
No, you know what that was? It was a fucking kangaroo court is what it was. The Emperor made his decision before he walked in there, but he just wanted to let the Primarchs feel like they were doing something. And when the vote wasn't going his way, he's just like, you know what? Never mind. The dangers of the warp are too terrible to use, I say to the beings I created out of the warp.
And that's another part of it. He's just such a fucking massive hypocrite. Everything he ever does is just riddled in lies or deception, and he's like...
And hypocrisy.
And he's like, no, I can't trust you guys. I need to do this on my own. And then he's like, wait, why did half of my sons betray me? What happened? Yeah. Oh, of course.
No,
right.
It was planned, guys. It was actually planned. I promise. I planned all of this.
Of course.
I even planned getting fucking crippled.
Such a big asshole that he's just like, no, yes, this was absolutely part of my plan. Yes, you didn't win.
Oh, and the custodians, which he considers to be his most ideal form of humanity, are just major fucking assholes as well.
Yeah, honestly. They could have their own fucking icon here for the pure bullshit that some of the custodians does. Obviously...
Like, when a custodian was talking to a child, and the way he ended the conversation goes, I'm finished with this conversation, and then walked off to a fucking 8-year-old, and a blood angel was just like, dude, what the fuck? you can't just do that. This is a kid.
The thing is about the Emperor is, like, he has Endymion Ra, right? Did he, like, look me in the eyes and tell me, did he really have to stab the sword through his fucking chest to do that? Couldn't he have just handed it to him and just go...
like burning with fucking warp fire, holding the sword in his hand. He's like, Endymion, what? Hold this!
Just stabs it through. Like, was that necessary? Really? Was that really necessary?
Hey, son, I know I haven't been much of a dad lately, but I actually suddenly really feel the need to play catch with you. Yeet.
He is such on a base level and everything. Like, it is implied that he means well, but through his actions, it really doesn't look like he meant well at all. I think he's just an ass.
No.
One of the first things he did as a child was give his uncle a heart attack.
Well, his uncle did kill his dad, right?
Hey, what did his dad do to deserve it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe his dad raised the emperor, you know? He probably wasn't a great person.
All right. Fucking hell. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I feel pretty safe putting the Emperor up in irredeemable asshole, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. He ruined everything. If he would stop fucking around and just stay on Terra and maybe, just live out the rest of his life in that irradiated shithole, things wouldn't be so bad.
I think your opening sentence was the best example of it all. It's like, he had 20 sons and he didn't manage to raise even one of them right.
No, exactly.
Like, that is a very good show of his personality and the way he is. So he can go an irredeemable asshole.
Also, the lady that he named the Astartes after was really against using the Astartes as soldiers, and and out of spite, he names them after her.
That is so petty. That is so unnecessary.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I gotta credit the original creator, all right?
We're all about giving the proper people their slice of the pie. Sir, she like hated what you were going to do with these things. Hey, man, game recognizes game. Sir, that's not the saying. How the saying goes. Shut up, Constantine.
Shut your mouth, Constantine. Go look back at your spear.
And even the mother of the Primarchs is like, he just kept alienating people. Like all these immortal super beings, Erda, Astarte, and all of them. No one, Olanias, Pius, no one wanted to be around him. Immortal beings, and they're like, I'm sick of you. I have no patience for you.
I'm sorry, but even John Grammaticus thought that he was a dick, and you've done something real bad if even John Grammaticus thinks that you're worse than him.
Not to mention he's a sexist.
That's true.
Because Malgador's sitting there with him, is just like, you should have made some of them female or girls.
And he just starts laughing.
Because girls aren't swinging their dicks around, Biggie. He's just like, women! What do they know about war?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's even going above Mr.
Gendor.
Mr. Knight Grendor. The Garundor.
No, Grendor Scrivock's an irredeemable asshole because he's a serial killer piece of shit that just wants more power. Big E is intrinsically linked to just being an asshole. It's like that guy that refuses to admit when they're wrong.
Well,
and they just keep making it fucking worse and worse and worse.
So people say, "Oh, he's gonna turn into the Dark King if he dies." I think he just turns into the chaos god of assholery, honestly. But maybe that's the same thing, to be honest.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Because of this guy, we're in the worst timeline.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh,
he was the man on the grassy knoll.
It's between the deceiver and the emperor, but
the Big E was the guy who shot Harambe.
No!
Holy shit! Oh god! Fuck you! Damn!
Well, it reminds me of a quote of did your toaster burn your toast this morning? The Emperor sabotaged it. Yeah, no, ultimate irredeemable asshole. It does not really get worse than him.
No, it really doesn't. Oh, well, I'm happy we can all agree on that. So, next up, we have another, I think, this guy is gonna be somewhere up there as well, honestly. This guy's gonna be high up. This is Asdrubal Vecht, the de facto leader.
Did you just call him Asdrubal Vecht?
Asdrubal Vecht, is that what it's called?
It's Asdrubai Vecht.
Asdrubal Vecht.
I hate your Swedish people. Anyway, he's the fucking Dark Eldar of Dark Eldar.
He's the de facto leader of the Dark Eldars, and if you have to be the leader of a big gang of irredeemable assholes, then you probably have to be a big irredeemable asshole yourself, to be honest.
Like, he leads the people that, literally need to torture and kill and make people suffer to live. And he somehow is at the top of the fucking rung of all those people, so...
Yeah, the thing is he started out as a slave, right? And he was the lowest of the lowest he could be, but true assholery and trickery.
Yeah.
Yeah, true ultimate...
A true rags to riches story here.
Murder, destruction, cloning, blackmail, other terrible crimes I cannot name on YouTube. He managed to get his way all the way up till the lower, noble houses. And then when one day somebody decided to steal a salamander's librarian, which was not a very good idea, the salamanders showed up in the webway and crashed their ship into the tower this was held. The thing is, Astartes had planned this because he had made sure that the librarian was with all the noble houses that were in power at the time. The ship hit him, crunching all of them in one go, and then he took power instantly after, planning it all along. And then later on, when the demons started invading Comorra, he did it again, just to clean out the rest of his competitors. And now he is the uncontested leader by killing everyone else. And the thing is, he's open about it too. He's just like, yeah, I did that. Pretty cool, right?
He didn't just do it once, he did it twice.
Yeah!
And people, for some reason, still fell for it. It's like...
Hey, he outplayed everyone, and he deserves his place, and he did it through thousands of years of complete and utter assholeness. It is absolutely immaculate.
Immaculate assholery.
Because he's not an irredeemable asshole. He does want to save the Drukhari race. He is trying to fight the demonic incursions to try and save the race. But at the same time, he is also indeed the leader of the faction that murders and hurts people to live, to breed, and to exist.
That turns people into accessories and commodities in their living rooms.
Whoa, Cherubundi.
Yeah.
So I would personally put him at professional asshat.
I think honestly that's pretty fair. I think somehow I think he almost fits into the professional hater as well. Or is that an exclusive club?
It's exclusively for him. Yeah.
That's loosely
okay.
But yeah, because Lysankor doesn't need to do what he does at all.
No, that's true. Right. Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
And Astartes did.
But Vect kind of has to do what he's doing right now in order to survive.
Yeah, because he's also made deals with the mandrakes and stuff. That's the main reason mandrakes are now absolutely everywhere, is because he's made some good deals with them. But it's important to remember
he's a businessman, if anything.
Yeah, but when you're doing actively business with demons that can kill other demons, it gets real spooky real fast, because those can also just assassinate anyone else. He is an iron fist over his people. He is a dictator, but you
kind of need to for the fucking Dark Eldar.
Yeah, it's the only way to keep them under control. So I think a professional asshat is a nice middle of the road. You're just a dickbag placement.
I think this is the kind of guy who, I mean, obviously, since it seems like the Dark Eldar noble houses keep falling for it, he would just invite people to his birthday and then poison the cake or something. It's like
he invited people to his funeral and poisoned the funeral.
True.
No, his casket was a fucking vortex black hole inside of a box.
It was a vortex grenade that he had in his casket to kill even more. The thing is, I guess the most important thing to remember about Astartes Vect is his original model, where he has the pleasure boat. And he just drives around sitting on his throne, legs absolutely full wide, taking up as much space as he can. Fucking just cruising around, probably playing Nickelback at full volume as he kills people for fun. He is just... It's get in, loser.
Playing Nickelback.
Get in, loser, we're gonna kill some scrubs.
Playing Nickelback on his private pleasure yacht.
He does. The weirdest part about Astartes Vect is that he does capture humans for his pleasure boat, which is apparently in Eldar standards the same as fucking monkeys.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Oh,
he's a bit icky.
He's just kind of gross, honestly.
Jesus Christ. bit icky. Well, what do we say?
I think professional asshat, honestly.
I think so too, but
only because, like, he's just a side character, honestly. He's not even that important. I mean, he succeeds in, like, 90% of the shit he does, but he does it mainly because it's in, like, the nature of Dark Eldar, and he needs to do it to survive, and he's looking for alternative means to not have to do that shit anymore.
For sure, yeah. But I don't think he is above the Emperor's Children guy.
No, he isn't petty enough.
No, that Emperor's Children absolutely did not need to do that. He wanted to do that. But that by default puts him above being more of an asshole than Astrovial Vact.
Alright, yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. So, below MSI, but still a professional asshat. That seems very fair. He's very good at what he does. Although it is from mostly necessity. And then we have, next up on the list, we have, I keep forgetting this guy's name, I don't know why. It is Eidolon.
I fucking hate this guy so much. This is probably, I hate this character more than Erebus, like by a large margin.
People even in lore hate Eidolon. He's just that dislikable.
He is such a dick that even Angron is like, why is he so... Like, even Angron has a moment where, like, damn, you're just being a dick to me right now. Like, if you have Angron self-reflecting about what he just said, that is... You've done something. Like, he's the whole... Like, for people that don't know...
Every single time he's introduced in any scene in the Heresy, immediately after, like, his introduction, someone goes, this guy's a fucking dick. What an asshole.
He sucks. I mean, I know exactly the scene you talk about when you say, like, when he's talking to Angron, but I just love the idea where it's just like, Eidolon's just talking and Angron just goes, man, that really hurts my feelings, dude.
Like, damn, bro.
Like, it's like a Family Guy skit where they're talking and it zooms into Angron's head and you can hear his thoughts going, this guy's an asshole.
Like, damn. Like, so for those that don't know, Eidolon is kind of the main reason the Emperor's Children fell from grace as a whole. So originally when they had fought the lair, they had distilled some chemical compounds and they were checking on the bodies. But of course, because they were Xenos, they weren't allowed to be researched. So Eidolon went to Fulgrim and asked, hey, can we research these organs? And then Fulgrim said, no. So he went to Fabius and he said, hey, I have some really good news for you. You can make some stims for our warriors using the Xenos. So he did, and then he went back to Fulgrim and he said, so we got this shipment of new stims from Terra that we can inject into our warriors, and it will make them faster and stronger. And Fulgrim was like, fuck yeah. So he went back to Fabius, and he's like, yeah, so we have to go ahead to start implanting, like, parts of the organs now, because the sims are working after testing, so we can go further with our research, and maybe we can enhance the gene seed. And then he goes to Lucius the Eternal.
Oh my god.
And he's like, hey bro, you want to come with me for like a talk? And Lucius is like, fuck no. You're an asshole. He's like, no, I promise. So he brings him down.
God, if Lucius thinks you're an asshole, how much of a fucking asshole are you?
So he goes downstairs and he brings Lucius down and he puts him on Fabius's table, and then Fabius restrains him and they forcefully operate on him to give him the organs he doesn't want. Next up, it gets worse. So this is a little bit before all of this happens, for when murder happened. The story that Fabius tells to Fulgrim, and this is the beautiful thing about it. So Fabius went there with about 20,000 to 50,000 Astartes, and he kind of went after murder with like 10,000. He lost so many Marines. So what he did is he delayed his return back to Fulgrim to rebuild part of the forces, so the records looked like he had lost less men than he actually did, and then he blamed the Sons of Horus and Blood Angels for the losses that he did have, even though the Blood Angels had warned him to not go down there for glory seeking, and he did anyway. So, but the thing is, Saltarvich knows about this, sitting there like, wait, that's not what happens, and Fabius loses his shit at him. tells them to shut the fuck up, and they continue the conversation. And then with the whole gene seed built up, like that they start experimenting with all the stuff. The reason we have noise marines is because in the beginning, already years before the Horus Heresy happened, Eidolon was sneakily but surely changing the Legion from being loyal to starting to experiment with chemicals, to starting to go more into art, and encouraging Fulgrim to say yes to the experiments, and encouraging Fabius by lying about what Fulgrim said. It is, because I've read like all the Emperor's Children books, because I was working on a big video for that.
Jesus Christ, this guy is like, this is way worse than I would have thought.
He is an engineer. He engineered their entire downfall. It is incredible.
God damn.
He's literally Grendor Scrivewalk, but for the fucking Emperor's Children.
Like, I already, like, kind of hated him, but after doing so much research, I realized this guy is actually the worst thing that ever happened to the Emperor's Children, like, by far.
Damn.
And the worst in every time, yeah, and other characters don't know any of this. They just immediately go, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's just an asshole by default, but when you, like, look into what he did, he's so much worse.
So...
Damn.
He's just like, oh my god, it's just like, holy fuck, it gets worse. It just keeps getting worse.
Holy shit.
It's like, cool, it's getting bad. It's
Alex really just went, wait, hold up, I haven't gotten to the best part yet.
But wait, there's more.
So you can look at Eidolon and like, this guy looks like an asshole. You look at Scribe like, this guy is an asshole. but then you start hearing about Eidolon. You're just like, holy fuck.
It's like in the same book. So for the people that want to read this happens in Fulgrim.
You know what? This guy is a bigger asshole than Scrivewalk because at least Scrivewalk doesn't lie.
Yeah, no, it's so, like, in the book Fulgrim, like, through the paragraphs, you see him go back and forth between Fabius and Fulgrim, and just straight up lying to both of them to get what he wants. It's so funny.
My god.
He is the ultimate irredeemable asshole right behind the Emperor, in my opinion. I hate him so much.
I was gonna say, like, before I got to know all of this, like, the depths of his assholery, I was gonna say, like, yeah, he's like a maybe like professional asshat or something. No, it's this guy.
No, this guy is the fucking worst.
What the hell? Was there any particular reason he did this? Or was it just...
Yeah, so when he... so the thing about Eidolon is he had fucked up before, and this had left him also severely wounded, in which he couldn't walk normally anymore, and he wasn't as graceful as he used to be. That's why he uses a Thunderhammer as well, for example. He isn't a duelist like the other Marines, so he wanted to perfect himself, so he would be better than the other captains, so Fulgrim would like him more. But the issue is... So what the reason he got all these experiments done so fast and like why he was lying to get it done instantly is he wanted to be the first one to be operated on, and he was the very first person with the sonic screecher in his neck. Because he wanted to be better than...
Yeah, he uses that in like one of the first books.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be better than everyone else. That is why he was doing it. It was all for personal gain. He didn't care for the consequences of the Legion, Fulgrim, or even Lucius, which I think I love the Lucius part, because it happens after a bit where Lucius kinda insults Eidolon, and he kinda brings it like, hey, you wanna have a talk about what happened? And then he forces like him to be like operated on. As kind of essentially just a fuck you.
That's terrible. Poor Lucius.
Yeah, that we say that about Lucius the fucking Eternal. So...
Ass.
I mean, maybe if Eidolon didn't fucking...
do that.
Maybe he wouldn't have been such... I mean, Lucius is kind of an arrogant prick, but he had friends, at least.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to Lucius, like, in a bit. Like, he's done some terrible shit as well. But, like...
Yeah, absolutely.
I think...
by the way, Eidolon does get kind of karmatic justice because halfway through a conversation talking to Fulgrim after they go traitor, Fulgrim just cuts his head off. and then he's just like, It's too quiet. Fabius, make this guy better. And he gives him his decapitated body and his head. And then he's been dead for a minute, by the way. He doesn't do this instantly. Then Fabius somehow brings him back to life, but he's all fucked up and decrepit. And then Fulgrim's like, you piece of shit, Fabius. He's all fucked up now. And Fabius is just like, what did you want me to do? He was dead. You know how hard it was to do this? This is a miracle of fucking science. I didn't do any warp shit, by the way. This is just me figuring shit out on the fly.
Well, yeah, he does get his karma, definitely. He 100% gets his karma, but it doesn't take away of how awful his actions were. Oh.
Yeah, but after he gets revived, he's like, Fulgrim is so disgusted by him, he forces him to walk like 20 paces behind his whole retinue.
Yeah, true.
And so Fulgrim and like always runs with a retinue with all of his like higher ups, and then there's poor little, poor decapitated revived Eidolon like fucking crimp walking behind them like 20 paces, going, guys, wait up, I can't keep up, please.
No, don't walk so fast, don't come back.
Fuck's sake. Father, do you love me?
That is actually the theory why he has, for the model, why he suddenly has a jump pack. It's because it's really hard for him to walk long distances and shit now. He just jump packs there. It's easier.
Oh, damn, okay.
So funny. No, irredeemable ass.
I absolutely agree. I think one thing that I found funny when listening to the Fulgrim book is also how, even though he's super excited about getting the augmentations, being the first to be on Fabius' table, he immediately starts getting like second thoughts. He's like, wait, am I really sure about this? Is like, and Fabius is like, no, it is too late. I've already injected you with a serum that will render you completely awake but completely unable to move. You will be aware of everything but can't do anything about it. Have fun.
Wait a second, why isn't Fabius Bile on this list? That dude's also like a huge asshole for no reason.
That is fair. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's like a crazy scientist. He isn't really a dick. He is a creature that does one thing and nothing else. If you fall into his trap, that's your problem.
What do you mean? He put Eidolon on a table and gave him a serum where he couldn't move but could feel everything. And you know what? You cannot tell me that Fabius did not instantly see through Eidolon's bullshit but went along with it, because he's just like, hey, if anything bad happens, it's this guy's ass. So, hey,
exactly. It's not my problem.
Scot-free. Even when Fulgrim was like trying to be like a cool dad to everybody and went down to that one planet with 7 Marines and he brought Fabius for some reason, the other Marines were like fucking pissed off because Fabius was there too. They're just like, this fucking spider piece of shit. And Fulgrim's just like, please stop fighting. Please stop fighting. We're trying to be perfect here. And these poor dirt-ridden people are watching you, who are just supposed to be angels, have a fucking scuffle because he said mean things. Shut up. Fuck. I miss the fucking tired dad arc of Fulgrim so much. like it really showed, like, it really gave him a lot of humanity, where Fulgrim's just like really trying to put on a mask of being perfect, but in reality he's just like super fucking tired. He's just like, fuck.
Exasperated dad Fulgrim is best Fulgrim.
He's just yeah, Fulgrim's like trying to split like Eidolon and Lucius. Like, stop fighting, goddammit! I love you both, please. It's so fucking tiring to have to do this fucking skin routine and have this hair. I worked in a mine when I grew up. Fuck.
You kids are just spoiled.
Look, I know, like, we don't have a lot of Marines. We have a low compliance rate. We gotta figure some things out. And he's just like sitting like all stressed out. He's all like his hair's fucked up. Like I don't think I like to think that before the fall form didn't give a fuck about what he looked like. He just had to put on a mask. Like he's sitting there in like a fucking like a pair of sweats in his fucking battle barge going, fuck, how are we gonna get the compliance rate up? The Emperor's gonna start asking questions. And then they're all like, sir, your brother Horse is here to visit you. He's like, fuck, I gotta do my hair. Shit. No, I'm not ready for guests.
Fucking, this is just Fulgrim's divorced, exasperated dad arc. Is driving the minibus with all his rowdy kids, spoiled kids, is like.
Yeah, he gets his leech and he's just like, I taught them well. Horse says, I taught them well. And he's just like, why is that one gnawing on the other one's fucking arm? What did you do? I taught them well. Jesus Christ, they fight every 6 fucking seconds. There's like only 1,000. How do you have 50,000 Marines? I have less than 1,000. They have cancer. They have cancer. Why do they have cancer? We don't know. What? Why are your Marines perfect? Like, fine, physically, and I have the Cancer Legion.
Oh, jeez.
Red, stop. I can't handle this anymore. I'm dying. I just want to see. I just want to draw Fulgrim in the fucking minibus with all this kid in the back. It's like,
we'll get her when we get her.
He's like, hey, are you fighting back there? He's just like, Eidolon keeps touching me. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, shut up, please. Lucius in the back. He's just like, I'm hungry. He's just like, I think I have some snacks. Shit.
Eidolon just goes, can we get McDonald's? Fulgrim is like, no, we got McDonald's at home. And Eidolon just goes instant, no, I want McDonald's, and gets the crack McDonald's from behind this restaurant. This funny guy gave me these his packs. He said it'd be make you real funny.
He's just like, would you stop complaining if we got McDonald's? Just like, yes. And then he gets the McDonald's and he opens up and says, my order is wrong. He's like, ah!
Oh.
And then he just like loses it for like 2 seconds.
He just screams, everybody goes quiet in the car. And he just, no, that's all right. We'll go back, sweetie.
Like after that whole thing with Jagatai, where Jagatai's like, I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass if you try anything, and he just just gets quiet. He goes back to his battle barge and just starts like sobbing. He's just like, I just want them to like me. I'm trying so fucking hard.
on the drive home, Fulgrim like dead quiet, and in the bus he just puts on One Last Breath by Creed.
Starts singing along. All the kids all his sons are quiet. And then one pipes up. Is like, shut up, Daddy's in a bad mood.
Okay,
your Uncle Jagatai is not a kind man.
All right. Okay. So irredeemable asshole. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely an irredeemable asshole.
Okay. Right there between the Emperor and Mr. Fuck his face.
Scrivok.
Grendor Scrivok.
There you go.
No, like, fuckface is actually a great nickname for Scrivok because he is a fuckface. Like, if anyone deserves the name asshole, it's fucking Eidolon, but Scrivok is fuckface. Because that seems like an entirely appropriate response you would say to Scrivok opening his mouth. He's just like, I have an idea. Shut up, fuckface. And it's just like, well, fuck you then. I'm going to go taint the Legion now. And they like fucking 40K warlord meetup. He gets there and Eidolon's there. He's just like, oh fuck, I hate this guy. There's like, and there's like men are like, why, Lord? You're a demon prince. He's still a warlord, and like he Here's a better rap sheet, all right? Sir, you're a literal immortal being of the warp. And your word because that guy's a bigger asshole? Yes!
You should see the shit he's done. Ooh. Oh.
Like, most of what I did, it was bound to happen anyway. He made shit happen, all right?
That's actually a good point, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh. So anyway, next up, I think someone who's probably very close second to a lot of these last couple of guys. This is Malkador the Sigillite, the right-hand man to the peak, at least for right now, peak irredeemable asshole, the God Emperor. This is the man who has a weird clone in his basement that he continuously trauma dumps on until the clone fucking rope necks, and he just then goes, fuck, guess I have to get you back alive, get you to get back on your feet again, start living again, clone you again. I'm gonna trauma dump you, and again I need my fucking psychologist.
What is who is this a clone of?
It's like some weird
Okay, so
Eldar, right?
Yeah, it's a Eldar human hybrid. So what he's doing is he has an Eldar in stasis, and he is taking Eldar genetics, and he's cloning that with a human every time. And it's the same guy getting cloned over and over. And he believes every time that he's like some administrator that then gets introduced to Malkador, and then he gets to know him, and then he tells him terrible things, and then he ends up jumping off a building, for example, or getting hit in the head really hard by himself multiple times. The thing about it is he knows that he's half Eldar, he knows he's half Xenos, but people don't really seem to hate him for it, so he kind of feels alright because he is isolated in the Golden Palace, so he doesn't really know. At some point he finds out what's been happening, because he panics and runs to Malkador's lab, and he somehow makes it in, and he sees himself as a clone, and he sees the Eldar, and he's realizing what's happening.
Oh my God.
And then Malkador is just like, you can't stop this.
You can't stop this.
Because he ends up killing the Eldar itself, right? You'd be like, oh, that's the end of it. No, apparently Malkador just didn't need that anymore, really. It was just there kind of for him to see. And he kind of just full on explains to him, like, you can't stop this. Like, this is...
I love it. I love Malkador. Like, he runs in, like, Malkador, please, I need you to answer. He sees, like, what the fuck? And Malkador is just sitting there, like, in, like, a fucking, like, a normal dining chair, and he has, like, a McDonald's soda in his hand, and he's just sipping, and he, like, looks at him and goes, you can't stop this. And says nothing else, just lets the guy do what he does.
Yeah, because he's like completely and utterly unfazed by the whole situation. He's like trying to explain to him, it's like, yeah, like I never really meant to hurt you, but I need to share this, and
I need to share my load.
I need to share my issues, so, you know, you are the person I have chosen for that. Yeah, but you don't have a choice. It was never your choice.
That's fucking horrendous.
So, and the issue is a lot of that kind of shines through a lot of things. Like, the thing is this, even the Emperor thinks that Malkador does really shady things. For example, Malkador is the reason we have the assassin temples. Ephesor assassin, it's his fault. He did that. Countless assassins, all those kind of assassins. He created that whole thing. And even the Emperor kind of told him, like, look, man, hey, I don't like assassins. I think it's dishonorable and a little fucky with what you're doing. But, you know, hey, you do what you do. I ain't gonna stop you, man.
Malkador fires back. Yeah, well, I don't like conquering and killing billions of planets, so...
You...
Maybe stay in your lane, Biggie.
Hey, Biggie, it says your name on the Exterminatus bomb, not mine. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow. You don't like killing a single opponent. You'd rather kill droves of men in honorable fuck.
No assassin, says the man with biologically engineered marines.
You know what? The Night Lords were Malkador's idea.
They probably were.
I can totally believe the Night Lords being Malcador's like, can I make an Astartes warbat? Can I make an Astartes legion? And Biggie's like, fine, what are you going to do? I got a bunch of death row inmates. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
So hear me out.
And Biggie's like, what the fuck? Wait, what do you do? He's like, look, we're going to make a bunch of death row inmates into Marines. But you can only do that to kids, Malcador. We talked about this. Yeah. They're kids on death row. Why are there kids on death row?
Man, we really live in the fucking grim darkness of the 41st millennium.
It's just the opportunity like we live in a society.
No. Jesus Christ, Malcador.
Malcador, we live in a society.
There's no rules against making kids like inmates into Astartes. There's no rules in turning kids into Astartes as inmates. You never said nothing about terror.
Yeah, but Malcador always struck me as more of an altruistic type of guy.
Yeah, he's just really shady. Like, right? I think the biggest asshole moments he has is this poor trauma dump guy, and the fact that he and the assassin worm. Like he.
No, but like you can kind of tell like why he was going with the Assassinorum, because he was like, Marines are good for what they're being used for right now, but we can't rely on big armies to take care of all of our problems. Sometimes you just need one guy to kill one other guy.
For sure. There's also the moment where he strangles and threatens Horus for trying to say the names of his brothers. And let's just talk about that as well. He has the 2nd and the 11th skulls. We're not entirely sure it's the Primarch heads, of course.
I mean, in that artwork, the skulls seem kind of small. Those could just be like Astartes from those legions.
Could be, yes.
The thing for me about him is, it's like, my favorite part about it, I imagine him as Palpatine in episode 3, where it's just like, I am the Senate, as he just flies towards Horus and like chokes him. I imagine that he moves and attacks like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, he like a bunch of Primarchs, he actually counsels and like talks to a bunch of Primarchs to like help them with their troubles. Like, he acts as a therapist for the Primarchs, and a lot of them call him Uncle.
That is true. So he has a really bad side, like
Dorn likes to talk to him a lot, and Malcador, like, you know, sometimes when Dorn hasn't talked to Malcador in a while, Malcador will go and find Dorn to, like, you know, have afternoon tea with.
That's wholesome as fuck.
For a man that has a cloned elder that keeps super sliding, he's really a nice guy to the people that aren't half humans.
Well, I mean, he's lived for thousands of years. He has some shit to get off his chest, and he does some, like, bad things for, like,
some shit to get off his chest.
Like, he's more human than Big E, so, like, like, all of his things, like, he genuinely, like, when I read about Malcador, he genuinely seems like the type of character that gives a shit about humanity, but not just, like, humanity as a concept, but, like, you know, the entirety of the race. And he genuinely has, like, good intentions with that, and he knows he has to do some shady shit to keep the universe secure.
I think he's very much, he's very similar to the Emperor in a lot of ways, that it totally depends on who you're asking. The Emperor obviously is more commonly accepted as a huge asshole, but Malcador is also, depending on who you ask, the guy who made Terra so bureaucratic, who made the for a lot of Primarchs, a lot of the traitor Primarchs especially, he was seen as the reason why all the, like, glory and the, like, the war efforts were going hill, whilst the making the whole Imperium more just about making money, filling their pockets and things like that.
I don't think that was Malcador. Just Malcador knows well, I mean, the government, the way the 40K is in the 41st millennium, well, how 40K isn't because of Malcador, is because people have abused the systems Malcador put forward.
Yeah, obviously.
Not because Malcador himself decided to make it innately corrupt. It's a government. It's about to, they get corrupt just by existing.
But like by the virtue of being a very shady person himself, he sort of fed into those theories that some of the Primarchs had, where they just saw him as the regent of Terra that used like all the planets that all the Primarchs had fought for to fill his pockets. And a lot of Primarchs did really dislike that. Even some loyalists, I believe. But most of the loyalists still were like, hey, Malcador's cool.
He is the man that did introduce the whole Imperial tax tide system.
Which is evil in of itself.
Which is good.
Yeah, well, he's also like the type of... Yeah, taxes suck, but realistically, how are you supposed to run a fucking universe-expanding empire off of, like, you know what, goodwill?
You're right.
You know, I see your point. I don't like taxes, but that makes sense.
I don't like taxes.
Gotta do what we gotta do, you know?
Who does? Gotta do what you gotta do. No.
But, like, I understand the necessity of them.
I don't know. I still feel like I'd put him in, like, professional asshat. Low professional asshat. Because I feel like he even though we maybe don't know a whole lot, obviously, the things we do know about him sort of elevates him for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the naming conventions are a bit off because it makes them seem like these guys are...
Sure.
Like, the tiers themselves, the naming of the tiers are a bit off because it makes it seem like the guys that we put in here are, like, just decide to be assholes. So... but like for the sake of it being a tier thing, I would put him in hobby hater.
No, well,
I wouldn't even do that, honestly. I don't really consider Malcador an asshole. I mean, he's not by all means a wholly good character, but who is in 40K? But I don't feel like he goes out of his way to inconvenience people.
Except for that cloned dude, but
well, that's what he gets for being half Eldar.
But even then, he did that because he needed someone to talk to.
Fair, I guess. Dorn wouldn't necessarily be able to handle all the shit that Malcador apparently has to talk about. But like,
well, yeah, no, he didn't want to fucking because the shit that he told this guy was stuff this guy's willing to kill himself over. Sorry, YouTube monetization. But it's but like, so it must have been some pretty dark shit, and, and Dorn was currently busy trying to keep Terra from not exploding.
Yeah, he couldn't. He probably wouldn't appreciate being trauma dumped on in that moment. To be fair,
he's just like, Uncle, I get it. Your job sucks, but please, I need to focus on my job right now because there's literally like a fucking 100 ships with world-ending weapons on them coming at us in the next 30 minutes, and if I don't figure out how to get rid of them, we're all dead. So, like,
do you imagine he just the first time turned to him and just like, I don't care, you will listen.
Dorn just then looks at the camera.
The fourth wall break, like, man. Now, I'd probably put him in hobby hater as well. I don't think he deserves, because he has really good sides and really bad moments, but he isn't really an asshole on purpose. He's only an asshole out of necessity, and it's kind of part of what he does. He's the shady part of the Emperor, because the Emperor needs to be the good guy, even though he's kind of the biggest dick around. So I'd say, for my thing, I'd put him at high hobby hater.
High hobby hater. Above the Deceiver?
Around the same level. Could be behind her before. I
think it's behind because the Deceiver still caused a lot.
Yeah.
Of bad things.
I guess on the tiebreaker when it comes to assholery, I'll then look at the skill of things. Yeah, he can go behind the Deceiver.
I think that's fair. You know what? I buy that. He has man has some issues, but he's not necessarily out to make it anyone else's problem.
It's a very nice way of saying it.
Right on. So on to our next contestant. This is the god of trickery and lies and sorcery himself. It is Tzeentch. I mean, this is sort of a hard one to quantify, but I think there's one moment in particular that speaks to me, at least, in like how sort of a dick he can be, besides just his, galaxy-spanning bullshit planery, is when he tosses Kairos Fate Weaver and the other bunch of greater demons into the Well of Eternity because he's curious about what the fuck is on the other side.
Hey, Scrub, think fast. Pushes him in.
Think fast, Choconuts!
Oh, it's like it's so comical in a sense. I think it speaks a lot to like how literally the fact that it is a part of him just makes it also funnier because he's like, hey son, take a look at this. Yeet. And obviously,
hey son, you want to see some magic? Turns you into a puddle.
Father, why?
Yeah, Zinch is just, I think, he's professional in what he does, but it's mostly just in his nature. This is literally, I think, just in his nature sort of moment. I think
this is what he stands for. This is what he exists for. I think it's kind of very similar to the Deceiver in a way where they both exist for deceiving. And in Siege's way, it's more the change and the tomfoolery of it all, and in the Deceiver, it's just in the nature of the creature. But for both of them, in the end, right, it's half truths, half lies. Fuck around and find out.
Well, precisely, yeah. There's probably a metric fuck ton of examples you could use to honestly put him into most categories. But I still think Hobby Hater is probably a good one because he... or maybe even has like, because it's all sort of just like nature to him. It just happens. He's not necessarily about the pain and suffering it causes. He's just like, yeah, mischief. Yeah, like
yeah, fuck, what was it? It's just kind of like what he does, you know.
It's for him. It's not
like. Do you call a typhoon like malicious when it like takes out a city?
Well, I mean, I see it more like for Zinch, it's not about the result as much as it is about the doing, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the act. It's really, Zeech does not care about what happens from actions. Like his followers, he literally does nothing with his followers. He just encourages them to go seek out in more and more convoluted plots, and just continue on propagating the idea of change. That's it. It's just change. A constant state of change is exactly what he's looking for. He doesn't look for any answers. It's all madness with the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think above the Deceiver, right, in Hobby Hater.
Yeah.
I'd say professional asshat, honestly.
Yeah, sure. I'd say I'd put like low professional asshat, because he isn't like...
Professional asshat? Alright. Okay.
An absolute scumbag like Asterbell, or the guy that just denies the kids their fucking fun time. But he is just...
Their fun time, trying to embrace their sibling. What a fun time.
It's like, please, like they're scared and everything. It's just like, no, you cannot have a good time. Not on my watch.
Stop having, no.
No, they're having fun. They're having a good time. They're smiling.
I like to think that Fulgrim, going back, like the Thousand Suns, just I don't like that, and just like gets rid of him, and then Fulgrim standing there going, "Well, someone had to do something about it," and just walks off.
Oh, yes. And speaking of Fulgrim and the Emperor's Children, we have Lucius the Eternal, Lucius, the guy who perfected the art of losing, This guy who...
To a point where it became a superpower.
Yes. This is the guy who, you know, was so up his own ass that, like, I mean, obviously, you know, in the Emperor's Children case, you know, everyone sort of were like up their own asses either way. But he was like, yes, I'm the best. I'm gonna prove I'm the best, and it's gonna be all about me, and my perfect swordplay. And he, even when he was on Istvan free, with, like, he was considered, like, for all purposes, a loyalist. He at some point decided, wait a minute, these guys are there's like this one point where someone takes a kill from him or something, takes like a bit of glory for him, and he immediately just goes, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm gonna contact the traitors, I'm gonna tell them where everyone is hiding and how to get here, and I'm gonna help them.
Oh my god, that is fucking weird. What the hell? That's terrible. Just at one moment, this character that you prime up to being kind of a dickhead, but a kind of a good guy, is just, nope, complete 180. What an asshole.
It's even worse because he ends up like confusing another. So while he makes his betrayal, right, he has just called Eidolon. He is standing in a square and he's killing his loyalist brothers around him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't expect him to suddenly start going on a murder spree. And then another sergeant comes over thinking that Lucius is being attacked by traitors and goes helping them.
Yeah.
And after they kill all 28 of them, he looks down and realizes those were his loyalist brothers, and then Lucius kills him in the last moment. Just like, haha, thank you for the help, and then just kills him.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He is such a bastard. Such a bastard.
Such a scumbag. Absolute scumbag.
His greatest achievement is getting killed by Shuriken.
His greatest achievement is losing almost every battle he's been in.
It's really impressive. He even died by a landmine.
He lost to a Raven Guard, he lost to 1,000 Suns, he lost to fucking Sigismund, but then again, everyone fucking loses to Sigismund.
Well, yeah.
Except Jago Sevatar. I'm pretty sure he lost to Jago Sevatar.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
Like, Lucius is like, again, every moment, everyone's like, Lucius, the most, like, renowned swordsman of the Emperor's Children, loses to every other legion's fucking swords.
He's not even the best, like, swordsman in his own company. Not even his legion, this is his company.
No.
It's like that it's like the fucking Beatles meme. It's just like, is Lucius the best swordsman in the Emperor's in all the legions? And they go, Lucius isn't even the best swordsman in the Emperor's Children.
Fucking hell. Yeah. I mean, I think his actions very much speaks for themselves. He's at least, I'd say, pretty high professional asshat, or a professional asshat. I was actually teetering.
No, I would say dishonor to the craft, because he kind of, in every story, he just kind of fails upward.
Yeah, he's not trying to be an asshole. He thinks he is an asshole, but he also really sucks at that.
He thinks he's better than he actually is, if, like, the evidence of all of his stories comes into play.
To be fair, even after he betrays the loyalist, he's like, man, this sort of sucked. The traitor sort of sucked. So
in the Crimson King book, Lucius appears. It's the Crimson King featuring Lucius from Devil May Cry. In that book, Lucius is hanging around Armin's little group of cronies when they're going out on their fucking vision quest, because Armin is friends with one of the best Thousand Suns swordsmen who can, like, uses like to be able to predict the future, to predict what his opponent's going to do. So he's, like, really good, and he's kicked Lucius's ass, like, in every single fight they've been in. And Lucius like, I'm going to beat your ass, I'm going to kill you, so I'm going to stay here until I get to do that. So then he just hangs around then, and he follows this one guy around, and he helps them out of convenience. In that book, Lucius does, like, a few things, duels this one guy, helps the Thousand Suns out on their vision quest, and And he does like this kickflip on this mortal swordsman, breaks the swordsman's sword, leaves him alive to disgrace him or whatever, because this guy was supposed to be like a samurai, I guess.
Okay.
And then he loses his temper and proceeds to in this book he forces one of the Thousand Sons to reshape his face to look like Fulgrim's.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because this is when his face gets fucked up the first time.
Oh.
And they reshape his face to look like Fulgrim's. And so at the end of the book, he sees a bunch of like visions of all the swordsmen he's lost to over the years, and it was a fucking lot. And he loses his temper and starts smashing into this crystal maze of Zeech, and it cuts up his face to look like what his face used to look like again. And then he gets lost, and then you don't hear from it. That's how he just disappears from the plot.
That's so good. That's so good.
Stole him.
All right. I'd say, indeed, like, dishonor to the craft. He doesn't even deserve a good spot.
Damn.
All the way at the bottom.
Damn.
Right where he belongs.
Holy shit. Like, even...
He isn't even a hater. He's too dumb for that.
Below Abaddon, even?
Yeah, below Abaddon, because at least Abaddon has plans. Abaddon intended to blow up the planet with the Blackstone Fortress, even though it was a last-minute decision.
Yeah, Lucius just kind of showed up.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I'm so great. And then he dies.
And then he possesses your body. And then he dies again. I meet a person. I challenge them to a duel. They kill me. I possess their body. I meet a person.
I won either way. Ha
Okay, you know what? That's actually fucking accurate as fuck. Down to Dishonor corner with you. Alright, well, then we are on to our last two contenders, with the next one being Typhus of the Death Guard. The guy who is the reason why the Death Guards turned into the way they are, because he just fucking apparently just really loves Nurgle. He from the very start was like always a psyker, always hid his true nature and intentions from Mortarion, and duped Mortarion and the entire Legion all the way until just the right moment where he could turn the entire Legion to Nurgle. This guy, I think, although sneaky, is a professional asshat.
Yes.
I would say he has nothing better to do.
Okay.
Mainly because it legitimately just feels like that's why he did all this.
Well, the thing about it is,
because all these secret reveals happen relatively close to each other. For the most part, he's just been kind of a rude guy to serve with.
yes.
But then at the end, he's just like, I killed all the psychers because they're actually traitors. I can lead us to the fucking thing. Oh, I led us to Nurgle's Garden. And this happens all within like the span of a couple of books, or like in the same book. And like you want me to believe that in one fell swoop, he managed to make the downfall of an entire legion. Because why? It feels like the writers did not know how to cause it, so they just said Typhus. Typhus was a double agent the whole time.
True.
Why though? Because okay.
It is surprising how much of an ass he is, because in Dark Imperium as well, we see him talk to Mortarion, and he is just like, what are you gonna do? Be angry at me about it? I let the Legion fell to chaos. I am higher, closer to Nurgle than you'll ever be. Go! He calls him like little mot at one point, I think it is. It's like something close to that, like, go flutter away, like, go away. Like, I don't want to listen to... It's like, hey, can you help me invade Ultramar? And he just goes, nah, not really. And he just leaves the call.
I'm surprised. Like, yeah, he's like, you may be a demon now, but I am the mortal champion and chosen of Nurgle.
He's so cool. I'm
surprised Mortarian's just like, you realize, like, I'm immortal. I could just kill you, right?
Honestly, I think he's like at least a hobby hater. He's just like he does things because he like and he's like an asshole about it. He does them at whenever he like sort of feels like. It's not really just like a passerby effect. He's like, he shows up, he's an asshole, and then he fucks off. And when he doesn't fuck off, he spreads misery and pain everywhere he goes. So
in the same, like, funny enough, in the Dark Imperium, right after he told Mortarion off, he gets his ass beat by a Grey Knight.
Oh, really? That is so good.
So he's assaulting an Ultramarine ship, and literally the Ultramarines are losing, and Typhus is like, the gifts of Grandfather Nurgle. Then the Grey Knight kicks in the door, just like, fucking let's go, fuckboy. And it just starts comboing on the fucking Chosen of Nurgle.
That is so funny. That's what he fucking gets.
Well, I like to think just out of camera, you just hear cross counter and just immediate fucking parry sounds. By the way, you see, this all happens from the point of view of someone stuck under rubble. So all they hear is Typhus is coming to kill everybody, and then suddenly Typhus starts running away.
Oh, and he just
scatter, flee, wee!
Oh, he just runs away.
Like, I just imagine, like, that Grey Knight came in doing fucking Dante combos. Like, he comes in riding on a fucking rocket, kick flips a Death Guard, then decapitates, like, 3 Poxwalkers in the span of 6 seconds, and Typhus is just like, oh no.
He just somersaults with his fucking glaive and just like, yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, like, just doing gymnastics. And then Typhus is just like, running away. He's just like, I can't run too fast. I'm filled with disease. Trips over himself. Brothers, help.
Oh, how terrible. What a situation I found myself in.
Meanwhile, he hears all the fucking sounds of like fucking royal guarding, like royal guarding Grey Knight.
It's like that fucking scene from part 2 of JoJo when Joseph gets like knocked out by the Pillarmen and he just starts crawling away slowly, and whenever the guy turns around to look at him, he just lays still again. Alright, where do we feel?
By the way, like, side note, later in that book, that same Grey Knight goes and captures a demon host that's containing Kairos Fate Weaver.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god. What the fuck? This guy doing fucking working double time? What the hell? Who the fuck is this guy?
They name him, but he's a fucking menace.
Jesus. What the fuck?
That's awesome.
Is it the fucking oh my god, is that what happened to the main character of Boltgun? He turned into a Grey Knight?
It's fucking what, Malum Cato.
Malum Cato.
Yeah, Gilman had to send him away because he was terrified of him. The Grey Knight chapter has given us one of their warriors to help assist. Who is it? It's Malum Cato, sir. It's like,
fuck.
Hey, he quite honestly fucking terrifies me. And it's cool because the Grey Knight's psychic power manifests as cold.
Yeah.
So wherever he goes, it's like insanely fucking cold, and it basically freezes demons' warp powers.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, so fucking Frost Knight, Grey Knight kicking ass throughout the Dark Imperium.
I'd say Typhus is indeed like around high hobbyator, lower professional asshat. His overall, he's just always kind of been a bit of a weirdo and a bit of a jerk. But I think it's more just hobby hater. Like, he just does it for the fun of it because he kind of can, and he just always kind of loved Nurgle anyway. So nothing to him else like really matters.
Yeah, it's just I think it's a high hobby hater for me.
I think so too. Yeah.
He suffers from the Death Guard symptoms of no one really knows what to do with their characters.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because they're basically just Iron Warriors.
True. Where do we feel like putting him? Like, is he above the Deceiver then in this case, or is he below?
Yeah. Because, he chose to do all this. The Deceiver just kind of lives.
Yeah, it isn't part of his nature. It's just because he can.
That's fair. Well, then we're on to our last contestant. This is the man, the myth, the legend, the one who is behind the entire Horus Heresy happening. It is the Bald Menace himself. It is Erebussi.
John Warhammer.
It's Erebussi, everyone's friend. Literally, he is literally everyone's friend. That is how he got to fuck with everybody. If you know someone who's like super approachable, super nice, and everyone loves them, chances are they're a fucking agent of the Chaos Gods and they're plotting your inevitable corruption. That's why I don't trust people who are just nice. All right.
That's why I don't trust people who are heavily tattooed with chaos runes on them. That shit's suspicious, to be honest.
I mean, that too.
I don't know, man. The Nurgle side of the stinkiness is kind of strange.
but someone who who does things with no ulterior motives is clearly someone who is not trustworthy.
True.
You know what? I think there is no argument. He is in the highest tier of irredeemable asshole because Erebus isn't even his real name.
Yeah, he took that.
No, that's true. So, that's actually a really funny story. Yes, go ahead.
Erebus isn't his real name. So basically in the village he grew up on Chokeless or whatever the fucking one, Lorgar's planet. In his village, he was kind of a dickhead then, and his parents are like, maybe you should be more like that boy Erebus. He's a nice guy. He's a nice young man. And then he kills the kid Erebus because he was getting sent away to become a missionary into like the church, and he assumes his identity. And then he lives as a young youth, and then he meets the Emperor, arrives to the fucking planet, and he immediately smiles because he's like, goes, one day I'm gonna fuck him up. That's the first thought he had.
He is one of those type of characters where he just knows what he is, and he's so fucking happy about it. This guy revels in being the architect of everything bad that happens in the heresy. He's so proud of it.
He literally, if for no other reason other than he can and wants to. For reasons I should cause the downfall of humanity.
It's even Primarchs themselves are like, even though they keep him in mostly close counsel, are like, I don't trust you. You're a weirdo. I know what you're up to. I'm still falling for your bullshit though, but it's because he's so slithering, he just makes it out to be he is an asshole. Everybody knows he is this real A-grade prick, but nobody still suspects him that this is all his doing. It's great. He is a great villain, all in all. He's a great fucking asshole, even. And
he's designed so well to be hateable, but also sometimes you gotta just respect the hate grind. You gotta respect the grind set.
The hate grind.
You gotta respect the grind set.
Respect the hater grind set.
We gotta respect it with him because he's pulling that shit.
He is pulling that shit. And that's not even mentioning him killing one of the absolute best characters in the entire heresy, something that many people to this day find meme about it, and that's him killing Argol Tal by just.
He also kills Garviel Loken.
And also Garviel Loken, yeah. This guy just.
And Erda.
This guy just kills everyone, or most people. He's always there, just being like this. Smiling, just look at his fucking face. Just look at his image. Lackey, please put a fucking zoomed in picture of this guy. You just look at this guy, and he's just this guy is an asshole, and he's so fucking proud of it. I mean, he is the highest caliber irredeemable asshole. I think I could basically put him in his own tier of professional hater grinds.
He deserves to be in the same thing as the Emperor because that's where he wants to be, but he wants to be right in front of him, being one step ahead as just being a slightly bigger dick than him. every single time. I love it. I think he is a very well-designed character, designed to be hateful, and God, did it work. Boy, did it work.
It works. So, great job, writers at the Black Library. You did a perfect villain in many ways, in many regards. Yeah, I'm totally fine with putting him
I'm going to put him in number 1.
in front of the Emperor. Yeah, I think that's something everyone was expecting. Red, are you okay with that?
Where he deserves to be.
Yeah, the asshole of all assholes. But wait, a new challenger approaches.
Oh!
Whoa, what's this?
What is this?
A surprise edition. Who's this soy Wojak crying in the corner?
I know that face. I know that face from years ago.
I remember.
It has been 13 years.
So flashbacks.
Still, I've laid eyes upon that face.
Oh, the flashbacks. A book flashing in my mind. Rules. Get him out of my head.
The Codex Astartes does not support his action.
Get out of my head.
Ding!
Support these nuts, Leandros, you piece of shit!
It is Leandros, the professional, one of the original professional haters. At least for me, when I first got into 40K, this was, everyone just knows this guy. I think he is the reason why Titus was sent away to naughty jail for Space Marines, and because he didn't follow rules of book. It's
10,000-year-old book says go left, you went right. Fuck you. I love it. Oh, he's so petty. It's so petty. It's so unnecessary too.
I gotta respect it in a lot of ways, right? Because he's so devoted to the hate. He does not accept, at all, Titus. He's so petty about Titus just dismissing everything he says. And his concerns, which, I'm not gonna say Leandros was right, but, Titus could have been a bit more forthcoming, to be honest. Or Leandros could have been a bit more trusting, depending on how you look at it.
It was his fucking captain. He was his captain. He turned into the fucking. Why didn't the Ultramarines be like, the fuck? He was your captain. You're a fucking basic Marine. You gotta fight alongside your captain, for fuck's sakes. This was your first mission? In your first mission, you betrayed your captain?
It's his first mission? Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, it was.
What?
Like his first mission as a full battle brother, from what I know.
What?
Leandros is that little sniveling prick at everyone's job that constantly fucking, threatens to go to HR if you do, try and cut corners anywhere. We shouldn't be doing this. It's against rules, guys. It's against, you know who you are. And there are people, if you're listening to this and that's who you are, fuck you.
Stop it. Just don't do that.
Be a better fucking person. No one likes you. We shouldn't be doing this, guys. It's against the rules.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck you. I fucking hate people like that. And I hate Leandros. The worst. He's the fucking worst asshole. It's not even I can respect Erebus. He brought the galaxy to heel. I don't respect Leandros. I don't respect those fucking rules lawyers.
Yeah. It is a certain type of person that I think we all can agree is just...
You know what? He's a fucking snitch. That's what it is. He's just a fucking snitch.
He's a snitch.
Just
a fucking snitch. Erebus isn't a snitch. I'll trust Erebus before I trust Leandros.
Me and my homies hate Leandros.
I don't want to hear the comments he was just doing the right thing. Fuck you. He was not doing the right thing.
Wrong.
He was a snitch. If you support snitching, fuck you.
Well, I mean, I genuinely, for the life of me, can't remember once where anyone has said maybe Leandros was right. I don't think anyone has said that in the entire time where Space Marine 1 has been a thing. I think everybody pretty much agrees that Leandros is just a a real asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it all. Like, no reason at all besides him, like, I mistrust your judgment because the Codex Astartes says so. As you can see here in the letters, you didn't follow it. Hypothetically, if you...
but that Titus was a fucking captain.
Yeah.
You know? And people are just like... And people are like... Oh, like he didn't answer his questions. Yeah, but you were a fucking captain. It's like, shut up. Listen to me. I'm the fucking captain right now. All right?
Captain of the second, right? Even.
Yeah, captain of the second fucking company.
Like, oh yeah, your captain touches some warp stuff and doesn't seem to get too affected by it. Right. Have you thought that maybe he's just really devoted? Maybe he's just really good at his job. You don't report your boss to HR because he does a really good job, alright?
The captain was tainted by warp touch. The captain saved the fucking Forge world.
Yeah. No, to the Inquisition with you. Ha! Be gone!
He either could be at the top of irredeemable asshole or he deserves less than Lucius. I'm gonna be honest, in my mind, he deserves less than Lucius.
I think so too. Like, he's just the worst. He's a dishonor to the craft because he doesn't do it because he's fun. He doesn't do it because he enjoys what he's doing. He doesn't do it because it's in his nature. He just does it because he's a prick. Like, and he doesn't even do that well. I agree. He's below Lucius.
Yeah, he can go anywhere, honestly. He can go to the grave.
Where he deserves to be.
Exactly. Well, I think that completes our wonderful little tier list here. And, I mean, it's I think it's a very good tier list here. I think we're spot on here, to be honest.
I'm very proud of us that we were able to point at Erebus and go, asshole, asshole, asshole. I'm glad we all agreed on this. And if you disagree in the comments section, expect a visit from a rules eater. This is factually correct, of course.
Yes, exactly.
In fact, I hope I see more disagreeing comments. I love reading the comments. I read all the comments and I make fun of everyone.
Red is on the professional hater grind, just like our dear Necron.
Listen, I strive to be like that. I love watching. I love when people comment shit like the podcast fell off, or like they have to comment like, I don't like how you guys said this. Like, yeah, that's not going to change anything. I love forcing people to expend energy for no reason. That will achieve nothing. That's what happens when you comment on a YouTube video.
No.
Good job.
But if you happen to have any other additions to the tier list, or if you think if you want that we should be swapped around, feel free to voice that in the comments, as our dear Red here says. It's we all know 40K is full of assholes all around, but it takes a special art to be
this big of an asshole.
This big of an asshole.
Yeah. Originally, the Primarchs were going to be on this list too, but we would have been here all fucking day.
Then we've been here all day. Yes, that's true. And Mortarion would have just been at the bottom. So, sorry, Aaron.
Mortarion would have been off in his own like realm of how much of a big asshole he is.
Precisely.
Like he's not even he's like an asshole, but he's just like he hates everything, so he makes everything worse, even for himself,
just because he can.
Yeah. And with that, I want to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And Alex, I'm terribly sorry, but I think you're going to have to go back to the milking room now.
Oh no.
Hell yeah, we're going to, as soon as the cameras stop rolling, we're kicking the shit out of Alex. Abdominus Nox.
No, no, please.
Oh, thank you for watching this week's episode of the Astartes Anonymous podcast. If you like what we do and want to see more of our stupid extravagances, then feel free to hit that subscribe button, follow us on our social medias, and join us on our Discord. And while you're at it, check out our Patreon, and maybe you can also be up here on this fine wall here with all these gentle people. Alright, that's it for tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Alright, it's time for Patreon questions, unfortunately.
Patreon questions.
Yes.
We must answer the questions of the common folk. That's money to Tom's feet. Tom isn't even here, so he can't even defend himself right now.
Yeah, he held me at gunpoint yesterday to make sure I was going to be here for the Patreon questions.
I put Tom. I had to put Tom in the no box.
It did. Oh. Oh, I thought we threw that away.
We did with Tom inside of it. Good job. It's out of the airlock now.
No. That's what the porky guy heard outside.
Rip to Tom. We have subsumed control from Tom. Anyway, patron questions. Purple or Pew Purple, your name is confusing. What are your thoughts on Chaos Sisters of Battle? I think they're overdone. I don't like them.
Yeah, elaborate on that?
No, that's it. That's my answer. I don't feel like elaborating.
That's just it.
Okay, alright. Just straight to the point. I like it. I like them in concept. I think it's interesting. I think they're pretty cool, honestly, and there's a lot of really good art for them. So I'm always happy to see that, because there's a lot of creative iterations of them.
I mean, I just think it's kind of pointless, because the whole idea of Sisters of Battle is because they're purely fueled on faith in the Emperor, and it gives them cool powers.
For sure.
And having them fall to chaos makes them so generic like every other Imperium force, so anyway.
True.
Fuck, I did end up explaining my point.
But it's like, that's part of the interest. Yeah, you did. Yay, we did it. It's no, but like I like it because, you know, it's just probably because of that, you know. It's always interesting sometimes when you take that. I mean, it's just a concept, right? I wouldn't, because it's just like AU heresies. It's like all about the concepts, and it's the concept of having the incorruptible be corruptible is something that interests people.
Yes. For me, I'm very 50-50 on it. Overall, on the idea, I'm not the biggest fan, because I do like the idea of something being incorruptible, and for the rest being like that. I'd more imagine that if somebody is already half falling to chaos, they just get shot, honestly, or get burned at the stake for it. The other part about it is, though, after reading the stories in which the story in which we see a sister first falling to a gene stealer cult and then becoming a demon prince, making a Tyrannid Chaos hybrid.
Whoa.
That is a really funky story.
Wait, that's an actual real thing?
What?
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's kind of. I will send Lucky the book later, because I can't find it right. I know where it is. I just need to go find it. But yeah, there is some interesting points with them that have been made, and some interesting stories that do happen. But overall, they aren't fleshed out enough to have a full, real opinion of what would they be like in the setting. And besides then, it takes away a little bit from the Sisters of Battle in what they are. So, I myself am not the biggest fan, honestly.
No, that's fair.
Plus, when people do it, they just do it so they have an excuse for their Astartes to have a fucking chaos girlfriend.
Based.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue as well. It's a big pitfall when it comes to having fun with stories, you know?
For sure.
It's just an avenue for people to give shitty homebrews.
Yeah, no, I think there's a bit of there's a kernel of truth in all of these takes, to be honest. It's
and they're the right takes, the best takes actually.
Of course, we are always correct. We are never wrong, obviously.
Well, this is Astartes Anonymous, the most correct podcast in the Warhammer sphere.
It is Sister Etelka, by the way. That's the name of which this happens. That's she's from the Taurus Eternal. See if I can find the exact book with it.
Well, we're getting some.
Well, while Alex looks for that, Moots, did you want to answer this next question by JoeCool55?
Oh yes, JoeCool55 asks, Moots, what is your favorite metal song to listen to while hobbying? That is a very interesting question. I don't know myself. I very much listen to music quite irregularly, like in the sense of the type of music I listen to. It fluctuates so much. One moment I can be listening to black metal, the other moment I'll be listening to some like disco, the next I'll be listening to, I don't know, just classic rock, everything from Johnny Cash to Guns N' Roses, things like that. And but right now, I very much listen to a band called Woods of Ypres, specifically album Part 5, Electric Grey Skies and Electric Lights. I think that album is really good. It is very good. It is sort of depressing. It has a very it's teeters on being a positive and a sort of depressing story, but it's a very good album, and I really like the music. Some of those songs are really, really good. Example, Adora Vivos and Kiss My Ashes Goodbye. Yes, and next up we have Zach Bear Down, who asks, do y'all have any tattoos? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Or some of us. I don't know about Alex, actually. But Red, do you want to start?
I do. Yeah, I have.
Cool. Well, okay. All right.
he should have been more specific.
Well, I can say I have. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting on right now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tattoos right now, and some plans to get more, obviously. And they're all of some different motifs. I have one of my cat Romeo. I have one of an eye on my chest. I have the Rock and Stone band on my arm. Rock and Stone. And
Rock and Stone.
And yeah.
I have 2 tattoos. I have one on my chest. It's a big bear on my chest, and on my left shoulder I have a big shield.
The South African flag.
No, not the South African flag, sadly. But no, I just a flag and like a bear and a shield on my arms, and those are to signify some things that have happened in my life. So,
all right.
Yeah. You got attacked by a bear and you had to defend yourself with a shield.
True. No, sadly not. But that would have been a cooler part of the story, but sadly it was not cool.
Yeah, you should have a cooler life, honestly.
Damn. True. You're right.
Instead of just the guy that edits for Westhammer.
Yeah, instead of just the guy that just edits for a shitload of channels and just sits in the background just staring.
No, you are very cool, Alex. You're a very cool person.
Yeah, for a Dutchman.
I'll take it as a compliment. That's the nicest thing you said to me. I'll take the W.
Right, and with that, I want to thank everyone for the Patreon questions. And if you also want to ask some questions, feel free to hit the links down below. Check out our links down to our social medias and our Patreon, and leave a comment and like and subscribe and all of that lovely jazz. And I hope you all have a lovely evening.
Tune in next week, where we will most certainly probably explode.
I
just like those cars.
Yeah. I mean, I will try not to explode, but I can't promise anything, especially when Red is involved.
Well, I'm innocent.
I don't like how you said that.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.